Okay, Tov, Shavua Tov. We're on Daf Yud Ches Amud Beis, the third line from the top, Itmar. And we're going to have a machlokas here between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish, and it'll be related to the previous statement of Reish Lakish about the kavanah of the Baal when he says, Amar Lasar, he turns to 10 people and he commands them, Kisvu get li ishti. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, what is his intention? Shnayim mishum edim, he's telling 2 out of the 10 to sign the get. V'kulam mishum t'nai, and the other 8 are not witnesses, but rather he sets up a condition that he wants the get to be kosher only if the other 8 witnesses, which are not really witnesses, will fulfill his requirement, his condition, that the get will not be kosher unless they will all sign the get. But they're not signing the get b'toras edim, but rather b'toras chasima. And this is all to embarrass the woman publicly. Reish Lakish amar kulam mishum edim. Once he declares that he wants 10 people to write the get, he means they should all be edim. And the Gemara is going to have machlok nafkamina very soon. Hechidomi, what's the case? If the Baal didn't say kulchem kisvu get li ishti, but rather he said kisvu get li ishti, v'tanan, we have a Mishnah later on in Daf Samach Vav, that if the Baal turns to 10 people, Amar li asara kisvu get li ishti, without adding the word kulchem, then echad kosev, Ushnaim Chosman, that in fact the Baal wanted one of the 10 people to write the get, and he wanted 2 out of the 10 people to sign the get. And therefore, according to this Mishnah, it's clear that he doesn't even want the other 8 people to sign the get. And this is even against Rabbi Yochanan, who says that all 10 people have to sign the get. Ella, we have no choice, but the amalahu kulchem, we have to add one word to the Mishnah, and therefore he said kulchem. Now, what does this mean? In this particular scenario of the machlokas between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish, everybody has to sign the get because he said kulchem. The machlokas again between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish is whether 8 of them are just signing the get as Tanai or b'toras edim might be nayu. And the Gemara has 2 nafkaminas. Number 1, Ika beinayu the chosim beitrei minayu b'yomei. 2 of the edim signed the get on the day that it was written. The inach and the other 8. Mikan v'adasori yomim. They signed the get later, post date of ksiva. And now we have a problem of what's called a shtar muktam, a get muktam. Madiyom mishum tonight, according to Rabbi Yochanan, the get is kosher. And why is that? Because the 8 people are only fulfilling his will, the condition of the Baal, but they're not signing his edim. So the get is kosher, beyond ksivaso, by virtue of the 2 edim that signed on the get, and that's the date on the get. But according to Reish Lakish, that all 10, including the other 8, have to sign as edim possible, it becomes a get muktam. Inami, another nafkamina would be, Higon shenimtza echem mem karov apostle. What happens if one of them turns out to be a karov apostle? The Gemara says in Makis and in Sanhedrin that if one of the members of the Kad of Edim turn out to be a karov, or any sort of apostle, it apostles the entire kat. Tonight, according to Rabbi Yochanan, it's irrelevant. The status of the other 8 people would not in any way impact or impair the validity of the get as kosher because they're only signing as a tanai. However, according to Reish Lakish, all 10 are appointed as edim and commissioned to sign the get b'toras edus, according to Reish Lakish. Possible because now, if one of the 8 who's part of the kat is apostle, is nimtzechet me'karov apostle. Now the Gemara wants to clarify Rabbi Yochanan's opinion in the following scenario. What would Rabbi Yochanan say in a case where the first chasimos, on the top of the chasimos, are krovim or psulim? Amrile, according to one view in Rabbi Yochanan, kosher. Amrile, posel. Another view says it's posel. Amrile, kosher, tanayu. We said that according to Rabbi Yochanan, those 8 people whose signatures are added to the get are only signing V'taras Tanai, they're not Eidim, and therefore the get is kosher. And even though the psulim appear on the top of the list, it doesn't matter. They were only signing V'taras Tanai. Amrei Posel, the other version of Rabbi Yochanan, is that it's Posel. Why is that so? Asi lichlufe b'shtaras di'alma. People don't know the difference between the case of get where he added a Tanai to the case of other shtaros. And we're going to think that in other shtaros, even though at the beginning of the get, the first signatures are those of psulim or krovim, the shtar should be kosher. A man commissions 10 Eidim, and he says, Kulchem kisvu get lishti. Chosim beitrei minayu. If 2 of the 10 witnesses signed on the day of the ksiva, the inach, but the balance of the 10, meaning the other 8, mikan v'adasar yomim, also lekami de Rav Yeshua ben Levi, the case came up in front of Rav Yeshua ben Levi, and Rav Yeshua ben Levi is going to analyze the machlokes between Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan.